that will also go on. And possibly, I have also something to do with the bosses of United Nations, those who matter. Yeah? Those who matter. What do they say about what we are discussing here about? Yeah? I have asked the man of wisdom to pick few things to do with the planting trees, climate, and the few things which I felt I spent some night, to scribble about, what I believe in and what I would like you people to have and take away home. I had written their YouTubes. I had proposed, but I didn't have time to work on that. But I had asked my friend at least to choose a few. But I am going to name them so that if you have an opportunity to script or to find out from your computer, you can do that. You can enjoy what Mzee here is talking about. I had a rapid review of drought risk mitigation measures. 2, tree planting in Greenland. 3, afforesting Iceland, a cause for optimism. 4, 30 years of reforestation success. Rwanda Forests of Hope. How to save our coast waters. How to save our grasslands. How to save our high seas. How to save freshwater flow. Our planet, our business. Hear that. Our planet, full column, our business. The effects of plastic pollution. Our planet, full column, too big to fail. How to save our frozen world. How to save our planet. How to save our forest and rewild our planet. Apple, APPL, full column, help us save our mountains. Mountains and climate change, full column, a global concern. And I have also said that such document, a 56 pages, number 211018, restoring life to land report. Yeah? It is a 2 PDF. So guys, this my way of thinking. So I don't know what mzee wa knowledge. Umesema nini hapa? Which one? You want to let us introduce waste. Yeah, that one. Interwaste Research and Development East Africa Trust. Presentation by me, founder and managing trustee. Why did I thought of bringing in or registering this trust? I remember very well when my son and others, I had 3 boys, around city, beyond where this guy, where your offices are. There is a bookshop at the other side. I had come with my sons to buy them books. Nairobi by that time was chaotic. There were mountains and mountains of rubbish. Oh, on the road, anywhere. And I was telling my 3 young boys, what is all this? Roads are made for cars to pass through, but not for dumping waste. I did this in 2012. And I have been dreaming. And I have many dreams. Yeah? I have been knocking doors. Who can come to my aid? Knocking doors. But in the marketplace, we are asked that you keep on, don't give up. Keep on knocking doors. One time, or in that process, you'll find somebody opening the door like professor and ask, Mr. Gakunga, what do you want? Then the business will continue. Yeah? And I see it right now. And we are going to continue. So, read it through. Just make them read it through. I don't need to read or to just go on slowly so that people see. Go the previous one. About us. We are non-profit registered in Kenya and focused in Africa. And also UNEP and UNCCD accredited. And I am a friend of CTCN network member. And many more. Many people they look for me. For more information, as principal catalysts, we are principal catalyst partner. We are looking for strategic and especially specialized partners, investors, and technical assistance for implementation services of our initiatives in Africa through value addition and use of advanced technologies currently available while inspiring circular economy solutions from around the globe. Our concerns are environmental challenges caused by urban solid waste, wastewater, wash, agriculture, irrigation, deforestation, forestation, cities, underground infrastructure. This is something which people don't really concern about. Underground, they are old. They were laid there during colonial days. Today, inatoboka toboka. Yeah? Unaona, our roads are flooded with the blue, we call it grey blue stuff. That is not what it should be. We should now look and take care of underground infrastructure. There is technology all over the world now which can check where the pipes and water pipes, sewers have broken and can be repaired. It's my concern, it's our concern. Underground infrastructures, water, sewers, lines, etc. assessment, and the chemical and hazardous waste sectors in Africa, and others like desertification, land degradation, drought, integrated water management, agroforestry, soil conservation, range land management, ecological monitoring, and early warning systems, new and renewable energy sources and technologies, sustainable agriculture farming systems, climate change, world circular economy, innovations, and solutions. Next. You are there. You can see. These are our objectives. Facilitation of urban rural water, sanitation and hygiene initiatives in Africa. Facilitation of climate change issues, solutions and campaign in Africa. Facilitation of infrastructure facilities, developments in Africa. Facilitation of urban waste, solid wastewater and blah blah blah, to energy for sustainable developments for cities, so rural areas in Africa. Facilitation of chemical hazardous waste initiatives in Africa. Facilitation of agriculture, irrigation, deforestation, desertification, land degradation, and drought initiatives in Africa. Facilitation of education and research and development activities in areas listed above. Particularly, I'm fond of that. Developing the young men and women. If given an opportunity, being a characteristic person or partner we can develop all these young minds in the universities, colleges, in issues to do with solid waste, wastewater, environmental challenges, etc. Yeah? Next. And thank you.
Another round of applause for when I told you our great friend here is very passionate on these matters, you can see the fire in his soul when he makes the presentation. Thank you so much once again, our convener for this conference. At this moment, we want to break the circle of presentation and go into a very short entertainment session where one of us will be giving us a poem that is linked to our theme of this conference. I want to really invite you at this moment to take the stage and take our imagination.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, it's first important to introduce myself. I'm Destiny Trofena, and you've heard what I do. I do a lot of things, and one of them is art. I am a performing artist, and so I do art for environmental awareness. Yeah, today I'm going to be doing a spoken word. I am a poet of exquisite skills. When my pen touches paper, words flow without pressure. But this time, my words are dying to kill. My work shimmers with aggression. My hands ready to strangle. My face flashing red in pain. My throat sore with words that I should have said when it all started when the world turned sore. But what do poets do? They're busy talking about queerness and racial oppression. They're busy ignoring the fact that the bigger demon demands attention, climate change will and is grabbing the bigger share of global destruction. I am walking through this garden, and God knows how beautiful it would have been. But now it's turned to ashes. All I see is the soil light and pale, the wall dry, the trees are being cut, others are being burnt, the greenland icebergs are melting. But what do all poets do? They write oblivious to the fact that the world is slowly turning into a mass death battle square. They failed to write that the best time to save this planet was 20 years back, and today is a backup plan. Save the planet. I am a poet of exquisite skills, but my poetry fails me this time. Save me a seat among the silent, for I want to learn the language it hurt. I want to become a transformed poet. I want to sing the green anthem with respect to each note. Before the sun sets, before the cracking of dawn, I have a message for you to carry across the globe. Tell them that the earth will shake in spears. If they ask you how I look like, tell them that I look like dead metaphors. Tell them that it's the art in the way I walk. Tell them that I am dangerous. If they dare ask you my name, tell them that I'm art in the pocket. Sometimes I step into the world, look at the world and laugh at everything and everyone. I laugh at Africa, I laugh at Asia, I laugh at North America, I laugh at South America, I laugh at Australia. Because there are so many places and we only have one earth. Thank you. Wow.
She deserves another one. I really hope you have more of those, so that even tomorrow you are able to do your thing. Thank you so much. At this point we are proceeding with our presentations. I'm told at this point Professor should be giving us his presentation, and then we will be able to now go to the Q&A session as we go towards the end of the first day of the Make a Difference conference. So, Professor, I think this is the opportune moment for you to come and to give us what you have for us today. Let's appreciate him with a round of applause.
Good afternoon again.
Good afternoon.
You allow me to stand close by here so that I can see this screen because I don't have, I didn't carry my laptop. Um, so I'm going to talk about basically, I have three themes here. Number one, I will introduce GBFA. Number two, I will talk about ecological restoration very briefly. And then lastly, I will talk about financing. Yeah? My perspectives on good. Now, this is our vision, Great Blue Foundation Africa. This is our vision, human well-being in a clean and secure environment. If you want to close your eyes and imagine that, envision it. What do you see? I see a green rush Africa or green Africa. I see radiant blue waters. These are the rivers, the lakes, and the oceans. And I see healthy people, happy, prosperous, robust people who have physically all they need and they are ready to help others. Not just themselves, they are ready to help others. And Africans of diverse cultures celebrating in song and dance. Do you share that vision with us? That's what we are looking forward to at GBFA. And we have a plan on how to do that. We can go to the next one. These are the things that we are talking about. Happy people, children playing, very green and radiant blue waters, and celebrating our cultures in song and dance because we are happy people. Our mission, how do we want to get there? We are saying we want to restore Kenya, Kenya's arid and semi-arid lands, also forests, through an environmental Marshall Plan and citizen mobilization. 1 square meter at a time. We were being asked of our tagline, yeah, 1 square meter at a time, yeah? And we'll talk about the square meter. Now, to bring you to speed, we'll talk about Marshall. What's a Marshall Plan? If you have done history, after the Second World War, Europe was completely destroyed. And the Americans realized that they had actually no trading partner because their main trading partner was Europe. And every country was trying to do their own small thing, trying to reconstruct the factories that were bombed, the bridges, whatever. And they didn't have money. Anyway, the economy was in shutter. But then the Americans decided, all right, we are going to give you to reconstruct the whole of Europe. And General Marshall was actually the Secretary of State at the point, an army general. That's why the plan was given his name. 13 billion at that point was given, and the whole of Europe was reconstructed in 4 years, 1948 to 51. 4 years, it was rebuilt anew. This is very important for us. Why? we are saying that we are so many of us, which is very good. And a lot of us are talking about the environment, and we are doing our little things in our corners, which is good, nothing wrong with that. But then these efforts are disjointed, and the progress is very slow. Like I mentioned earlier, what we have is that we all know that, like, the forest cover, if we take just one example, has been declining. And we are all there, the donors, the government, NGOs, state agencies, all this. So we are saying that we need an environmental Marshall Plan because Europe was reconstructed in 4 years. We can actually reconstruct or restore our environment in our lifetimes. It may not be 4 years, but within our lifetimes. We need to have a plan. And the plan is citizen mobilization. Yeah? We mobilize citizens because after all, they are the ones who have destroyed the environment. And after all, it is for their own benefit. Environmental degradation threatens our very own existence because it's only one earth. We have nowhere else to go. So if at the rate we are degrading the environment, with the four crises that we are talking about, the environmental crisis we are in has got four phases. One, biodiversity crisis or extinction. The most hyped one is climate change. Yeah, the climate change crisis. We also know we have a health crisis, like COVID. We are not out. We are told it's the sixth wave is coming again, isn't it? Do you link like COVID-19 with the environment? Part of the environmental crisis we are dealing with now in the form of health crisis. And then what has been presented here, pollution, waste and pollution crisis. So those are the four phases of the environmental crisis we are facing. And we need to do something about it. We need to restore. When you talk about restoration, it means it has been degraded. It was good, it has been abused, exploited, whatever. Yeah? Now we need to restore. And we'll talk more about restoration. We are saying a square meter approach. These are financing and investment model for environmental restoration. And I said I'll talk about financing last. So we are mobilizing citizens to restore the environment for their own benefit. And you allow me to say, to digress a bit here and say, why do we need the environment? If you want to know why we need the environment, is I'll ask you to close your mouth and your nose. How long can you close your mouth and nose? Yeah? You're going to die. That is the most important reason why we need to restore the environment. Because our very own lives are dependent on it. We all know that the oxygen we breathe, we say we breathe the air, correct? But really what we are looking for is the oxygen portion of that air. Where does oxygen come from? From?
Trees.
Yes, everybody knows this. Even primary school kids know. simple biology. Oxygen comes from trees, and I will tell you today, you need 9 mature trees to provide you with oxygen, the oxygen you need for the year. So if you haven't planted and taken care of 9 mature trees, then you're actually breathing oxygen that belongs to somebody else. You haven't provided yourself with your oxygen for the year. If you want to know the value of oxygen, remember COVID, the patients, yeah, in ICU, they were paying 150,000 Kenya shillings a day to be given oxygen. So that is, at least we have a measure of how expensive oxygen is. And remember, so each one of us spends 150,000 Kenya shillings a day, the oxygen we breathe. And God is so gracious, He has given it to us free. That's why we take it for granted. We assume it's obvious. It will always be there. So if you don't breathe for 2 minutes, you are dead. All right? You are
Dead.
dead. So the environment is not about me, it's about us. Okay, we talk about food. If you ask people, they will tell you what I need is food. You can do without food for 2 months if you are breathing and drinking. Yeah? Water is the next thing, number 2 thing that we all need. And it will take you 10 to 14 days. If you have oxygen, no food, no water, no food, you live for 10 to 14 days. If you have oxygen and water, you live for 60 days before you die. So which one is more important?
Oxygen.
Yeah? Water and oxygen. And you know the water cycle is also associated with trees. Yeah? Please, let's not complicate these things. They are very simple. Okay? Basic biology. Yes. We have destroyed the environment with our own human activities. All those crises we are talking about, it is us who have caused it. It's you and I. So it is our responsibility to clean our mess. Yeah? Most of us are walking on this planet either ignorant or oblivious of those facts. But in law, we are told ignorance is no
Defense.
defense. So even if you are ignorant, you are still guilty of the crime that we have all committed. Next. Our objectives, very simply, we want to create an environmental master plan to restore degraded lands in Kenya and in Africa. I'll give you an example here. If you read all the government books and whatever, you are told that Kenya and geography, we were told Kenya was 80% arid and semi-arid, right? Now it's 89%. What does that mean? Are we improving or going down? Going down, okay? This 89% and actually 29 counties today are classified as arid and semi-arid. You know them. I don't need to read them. 29 out of 47 counties are arid and semi-arid. Now, And that totals 89% of the surface area or the land area of Kenya. That translates to about 412,000 square kilometers or hectares, where that are degraded. We talk about Africa is not very different from Kenya. The continent of Africa is 60% arid and semi-arid. That translates to 1.67 billion hectares of land to be restored. Now, we are talking of desertification. We want to reverse desertification and that climate change. We want to conserve water and increase water availability. Kenya is a water-stressed country. The per capita water is actually below. Kenya is already water-stressed. And it has been said many times, if there is going to be a third world war, it's going to be caused by water scarcity. Personally, I have seen it because the rivers that were flowing where I was born are no longer there. Yeah? What happened? And the population is going up. We need more water. And the water resources are decreasing. We want to develop and sustainably use natural resources for the benefit of ourselves, primarily the local community, people where people live. Yeah? Even Nairobi has got its local communities. Yeah? I heard people saying they are from Magare. Yeah? That's their local area. It means something needs to be up. Most important, we need to create a youth employment through restoration and conservation. And I'll give you another story. In Kenya, we are told that youth unemployment is very high. What is the youth unemployment rate? Yeah? All right. A bit of history again. 1929 to 33, American Depression. When Franklin Roosevelt came to power as the president of the US, he created what is called a youth corp. No, that's no. Okay, conservation corps. That's what he called them. CCC, conservation corps. And these were youth, young people between 17 and 28 years, 18 and 27 actually. And there was no employment, the economy was down, and the government took employing those youth, put them actually in camps, like military camps, paying them $30 a month. They would, because they were being fed and everything else, they would be given $5 for their own upkeep. $25 would be sent back home to their home. And that is what revived the American economy. So you can actually revive the economy with conservation. And we'll see how. And that now translates to a citizen-driven green and blue economy. Citizen-driven green and blue economy. We'll talk more about it. So all of us can be rich if we actually concentrated on the environment and treated it nicely. Next one. These are the objectives in pictorial. Yeah. A clean green Africa, green blue Africa, if you will. The blue, we have the green economy and the blue economy. The green economy, from our calculations, the green economy can actually employ 20 million people in this country. The blue economy can do 10 million people. So, would anybody be unemployed in this country? we would all be employed and doing well. Next time. Now, restoration of degraded lands or ecosystems, or whatever you want to call it, yeah. Ours, we believe, is a comprehensive approach to restoration. Uh, those who are ecologists and also identify with these things. We are saying, he said, Dr. here said that leave no one behind. Yeah, it's the same principle we are talking about there. Community or stakeholder engagement to foster good relations and ownership. The resources belongs to the local people. The local resources belong to the local people. So they need to be involved, engaged in whatever is happening to those resources. So community relations are very important, and of course the other stakeholders. And I'll give an example of Gongeo's ecosystem, because that's where our first project is. At the Gongeo's ecosystem, there are so many, there is the local people, and even Kenyan is there with their wind farm, and all the telecommunication masts are there from KCA, Kenya airports, so everybody, including the media houses, they are all interested, yeah, because they use that facility for one thing or the other. And people like, even the people in Nairobi are also interested. Why? Like when there was the COVID shutdown, the hikers in Gongeos went from about 200, about 2,000 a day, they went to like more than 10,000 in a day, because people were looking for a space where they can go and breathe some fresh air. So we all need it. Then we need to deal with knowledge sharing, scientific and indigenous knowledge. Restoration requires that. It's not just the science, even the local people. The local knowledge is very important. Like for example, when we are doing seedlings there, we were stranded because they are most on the head, and we were like, how are we going to prevent the moles from eating the seedlings? Science didn't have the answers, but the local community had the answers. They told us, this citizen science, they told us if you use pig manure, moles run away from pig manure. So that's how indigenous knowledge comes in. The other part of it is, how did that forest look like before before it was degraded or destroyed? So you need to know the indigenous, how the ecosystem, to have an idea how the ecosystem looked like before. And that, of course, scientifically, we have all from the national museums, the university, we have all the data, the biodiversity surveys that have been done. And we know the species that have been there. Then the local community was telling us, no, the erosion that is happening here is being caused by the wildlife, especially buffaloes. Of course, they don't want to admit it's their livestock. Yeah? But digging deeper, we actually found out that the areas that are degraded were degraded even at the colonial times. Because when the railway was built, the colonialists, it was an Olea forest. They came and deforested the area to get fuel wood for the locomotives. So the place was left bare. So we are dealing with a problem that was created 100 years ago, yeah, when Kenya was a colony. Now, this is all information that we need to understand. Now, what we are dealing with is huge gullies, and these gullies that are soil erosion. Unfortunately, all that soil ends up in Kiserian Dam. Kiserian Dam is a national project, isn't it? Our money, we have sunk our 2 billion shillings into that dam. Yeah. Now it is being silted very fast. Even before, I don't know how long has it been used. It was completed the other day when Giro was, actually she didn't even complete when she was in the water ministry. Yeah. It's less than 10 years. The dam is almost filled with silt. 2 billion tax money wasted. Because it won't supply the water that it was meant to supply. Now, because of degradation. Now, the other thing is, so we are doing soil erosion control there and rehabilitation of the soil, including those of you who understand the economics of this, including soil carbon. Now we are talking of carbon credits. We are measuring how much rehabilitation is actually increasing the sequestration of carbon. I don't, then we are saying that we need the ecosystem to recover, and that is why tree growing becomes very important. This tree growing, and we are saying we do it for 3 years at least, all right? So that the trees catch up. That means because there is also a lot of livestock there, we have to fence the area to prevent the livestock from destroying. Then we do the soil preparation or the land preparation, get the seedlings, dig the holes, the manure, water, labor, all these things, plant and nurture them for 3 years. That's what we mean by. As we do that, we are doing site monitoring because we also want to learn how an ecosystem recovers. So we have scientists working with that, mainly from the University of Nairobi, soil scientists, biodiversity experts, whatever, to actually document the changes that are taking place to measure all those, the recovery process. Lastly, but not least, benefits, where the benefits that are intended by healthy ecosystems, nature-based enterprises, which can thrive or can be done without actually doing any degradation. And it's all possible. Like we talked about the hikes, we talked about, we want to do a picnic site in the area, and including zip lines. We have identified places that like zip lines can do. This including a cultural center where all the Maasai culture and the other cultures will be displayed. Those are what you call non-consumptive utilization of natural resources. You still earn from them and you are not destroying them. Next. Next slide, please, with that. So our pilot project is what I've been describing. We've done 10 acres already. We are fencing another 50 acres to go on with the rehabilitation. Gong use, by the way, is 3,077 hectares, which is about 7,600 acres. KFS estimates that 2,500 hectares are degraded. And you hear there are many partners there. So for GBFA, they have given us 250 acres to begin with. So we are just starting. And you are welcome to join us. We need everybody to come. Then we have done all these things. We opened the site on the 21st of March. The international community, we've created employment over 100 youth have been employed there, and women actually. Like when we were doing the digging, we were surprised that you think of gender and you're like women did it more than the youth. Yeah? They dug more holes than the youth could dig. Yeah? It even became a family thing. They would come with their families. The father, the mother, the kid, they come and do the work together. See, they are earning the money. Yes, so the economy here. Then we rehabilitated water funds for use of by wildlife and also the community livestock here. And I've mentioned the biological control of the moles, and then we planted 13,000 seedlings already, and we are going on. The team Environment Kenya planting and watering. Yeah, you can see even Kenya Defense Forces came over one day to do their planting. And the place is actually getting rehabilitated very fast, yeah, because of the fencing. Okay. Next. Now we said we'll talk about finance. Now, where does money for restoring the environment come from? We know that we have the environmental agreements, yeah, multilateral and also the bilateral agreements, which is very good. Then the UN body responsible for environment is right here in Nairobi at Gigiri, UNEP. And this time they have this ecosystem decade, 2021 to 2030. Then we have also the climate finance, which is somewhere in South Korea, the headquarters. But we have a focal point in the country. And that's what my friend was complaining about. We hear of billions of shillings out there meant for environment. The carbon credits also trading is on. But I'm one of you, I haven't seen that money on the ground. Like I haven't seen it on Gong Hills. I hear about it, yeah?
Misuse it. I don't.
Yeah, maybe Patricia can tell us. She's also, Nema is a focal point of some of these things. Yeah? We hear there is a lot of money, but we haven't seen it. Actors on the ground have not seen it. I can't explain where it goes. Maybe Patricia, when it comes to question and answer, she can tell us where the money goes, yeah? You tell us. So, and we all know destroying is very easy, but building is very tough. So, environmental restoration requires a lot of money. It's a lot of money. And I can tell you, even the government can actually not do it. They have been trying, yeah, and we can see the outcomes. things don't seem to change that much. Although now this year we have been told the forest cover went up to 8.83 from 6 points whatever 9 the other. From 2018 it was I think 5.9 according to the report, the ministry report. They say now early this year it has gone up to 8.83. But the forest cover, the tree cover has gone up to 12. There's a difference between forest cover and tree cover. Now, I don't know if you have seen, which is very good. It's a very good effort. Um, Now, for us, since we have not seen the money, the climate finance money, we hope it will one day come. But in the meantime, we have to be found doing something. So GPFA draws its financing from citizens. We said we are citizen-driven movement. We want to create environmental movement with the citizens, by the citizens, for themselves, because it is our environment. The World Bank or UNEP does not breathe. UNEP does not drink water. Do they? No. Do they breathe? No. So who needs the oxygen? Is it UNEP or us?
Us.
And the Kenyan government, have you seen the Kenyan government sick going to hospital? No. Yeah? Who gets sick? We ourselves. Have you seen the Kenyan government hungry, dying? Eh? No. Or thirsty because they didn't have water? So we have to be responsible for our own lives. Now we have the institutions that give us the support, like I've mentioned, the Kenya University of Nairobi, Kefri, they have all the technology you need, and there's site matching. If you want trees for Makueni or for Garissa, you don't have to struggle, they'll give you, they have the information. Yeah. So you use the resources that are available. After all, Kefri is owned by us. We are the government, don't you think so? Who is the government? It's you and I, isn't it? So Kefri is really our institution, just like NEMA. We can hold them to account. Yeah. They are dealing with even the money they are spending there is our money. It's not Kefri has no money, NEMA has no money, it's our money. Yeah? Yes. Next slide. These are our institutional partners. We have Greenport is very interesting because it's actually a private enterprise that, and we said we'll talk about how you get money from environment. Greenport Enterprises, they started like 2016, and right now their sole crop is bamboo. They are using bamboo for restoration and to kickstart the economy. They have their schemes, like in Narok, they have plantations of bamboo. Right now, they are doing a bamboo factory. And bamboo can do more than 1,000 things. Yeah. So you can create a whole value chain to employ a lot of people. As an example, and we are going to use bamboo for restoration, especially of those big valleys and also around Kisiri and Dam. Bamboo grows very fast. And when you start harvesting, then you get the first thing, briquettes. So people don't need to go to the forest to get firewood, because bamboo would provide the fuel energy, the energy that is required. Then it has medicines, then it's used for building, scaffolding, it has fiber, all these things. Bamboo is a very interesting crop. And now it's a cash crop. It's a gazetted cash crop in this country. So you can actually do bamboo to clean the environment, especially the waters, to reduce soil erosion. All the riparian areas can plant bamboo and it owns the soil very well, and also it creates all these other benefits. So the Family Bank, Kenya Forest Service, Nation Media, wherever Team Environment are here, Idri Religious, and we are all working together. Next one, I want to finish. These are the challenges of waiting for other people to actually come and solve your problem. We know donor funding, so-called donor funding, most of that money, I'm answering, where does it go? Most of the money goes back to the country, to the donor country, through their expatriates and also the technologies in code that they bring. So the money stays there, but we are supposed to have used it, and it's normally it's called a grant, but you pay anyway. Yeah. I told you there is nothing for free. Yeah. Now these funding requirements also may cause social disruptions. Yeah. Umesikia structural adjustments. That was funding. And all those other things. I don't want to go into it. Then the roads. Do you know that, like during COVID, third world countries, so-called developing countries, they could not get money from IMF, but America gets as much as it wants for free actually. They don't pay any interest. But if Kenya gets the money, they have to pay interest. Yeah? So there are a lot of our friends from Mathare, they were talking about ecological justice. Is that justice? Is that just? Yeah? So let's be aware of those. Then, like they say, whoever pays the piper calls the tune. And I am saying this without any aspersions, because even if it is me and I give you my money, yeah, you'll have to say what I want. You'll have to do what I want you to do. It's my money. Yeah? So I'll give you conditions, including the terms of payment, and I'll tell you my money is for 1, 2, 3. You can't do 4, 5, 6. Yeah? Now, in other ones, I'll be serving my interest. The problem is, and I can say this loudly, the problem with us, Africa, most of us Africans, don't even know what we want. Yeah? Ukiona pesa unakimbilia. Ujui, you get indigestion, unajinyonga. Eh? Sindio? Yes. And sasa nasikia you people, young people, nasikia kuna vitu inaitwa sijui furisa, ama na ile ingine inaitwa kwa hii mkopo ya simu inaitwa nini? Sijui okoa what? Okoa jahazi, sijui what? And I ask people, can I send you money? They say, no, you can't send to my number because I have. No. Are you yourself our slave? So please know what you want. Even if you are given money or whatever it is, don't just take it. Ask, why are you giving me this? Yeah? What have I done? And let me say this round and clear. There is no free lunch. There is nothing for free in this world. Yeah? If you are not paying it, somebody else is paying it. Yeah? Like this, nimekunywa chai hapa, si ndio? Na nikakula ndoma, si ndio? I didn't pay, but I know somebody has paid. Somebody has paid it, so there is nothing like free anything. You have to know who is paying it and why are they paying it. Are you indebted to them? Is it a debt that you have to pay later? I think you know what I'm saying, yeah? National governments, they are funding, like the Ministry of Environment. I've had the opportunity to sit down with the CS, not once. And he'll tell you, I think even if he was here, I would say it, yeah? The Ministry of Environment budget for Kenya, unless they have increased. In the last few years, it has been 15 billion. The Ministry of Education gets 400 and is it actually is it 400 or 500 billion? Yeah, I mean it's you can check the figures. What does that tell you? Compare Ministry of Education, leave our own defense, yeah, or internal security. Environment, the whole ministry with NEMA, Kefri, who else? 15 billion. They spend 85 to 90% of it on recurrent expenditure. Yeah? Operation, salaries, operation. How much money is it left for to do the project? Yeah? I was also fortunate 1999 when we were doing the environmental when we were reviewing the environmental policy for Kenya. Mechuki happened, the late Mechuki was actually the CS treasurer. Then in the changes that took place, he was brought to environment. He found us when we were just finalizing this policy. And Michuki used to read. It's like this current CS Kabiko. Hajui kitu anasoma mwenyewe. He's a lawyer, lakini you can ask Patricia. If you talk to Kabiko atakuuliza maswali, eh, in that technical area, Onyesha amesoma. We discussed carbon trading with him. Yeah? Now, Mechuki was like, this thing cannot go to parliament because if it goes to parliament, it will be mutilated. Can we do what we can with the what it is? And he said one of his own confession. He said when I wish I knew what the environment is about when I was at the treasury, I would have allocated more money to environment. That is his own confession. So really, people don't understand. Even people in politics don't understand what the environment is. And so we suffer that. The solution is resource mobilization from the citizens. That's what we think. If we really want to move, how are we going to do that? Next slide. Ours, we have created an economic model, what we are calling the square meter model. Simply put, I told you Kenya is 89% earned as the marriage. We've done the calculation that if you take that and break it down to the level of a square meter so that everybody can participate, we are talking of we need 44.1 trillion Kenya shillings to restore Kenya's 89% average now. How much is the budget for this year? Yeah? 3.1 trillion. It's about 3 trillion. And we need 44.1 trillion. That's as per our calculation last year. Yeah? Of course, now with the disruption in the exchange rate, you can have, that has gone up. And it will take us 44.1 trillion to restore Kenya's environment. The ministry gets 15 billion. How long will it take the government to restore the environment? Yeah, maybe in the next while is when the environment will be restored. If we go the way we are going, so we are saying then, but if you actually do that investment in 20 years, we'll have the environment can give us 500 billion. What are we saying? We are saying that investing in environment is good business. Yeah. If you invest 44.1 trillion and get 500 billion, it's a good investment. Why aren't we doing it then? Now, in fact, every dollar you invest in the environment, you can reap $12 out of it. That's what we are saying. So we have this, the reason we want 1 square meter, and 1 square meter, to restore 1 square meter costs about $3, is because everybody is able now to participate, even school children. So if we sponsor square meters as much as you can, then you will be able to restore this environment. And we are saying we want to do it in a business as unusual. You don't do Ngongeos and then you go to do Kitui or Marsabit. It is a simultaneous thing because it's the citizens who are doing it. The ministry and the government cannot actually, even GBFA cannot have the rubber to do that. But if everybody was doing it and they are given the support they need, then we would actually restore the environment in a year, even in this country. If people are doing it at their local place. And that's what we intend to do. We mobilize people, they do their own environment. We'll support them. How are we going to support them? We said we also want to create wealth. Yeah. There is employment, we mentioned that. Those people who are restoring will also be paid. And some full-time, others part-time. Then, of course, already by just doing that, there is money circulation in the local economy will improve immediately. And people will earn. Then people now will be able to have, as you restore, you are going to have the better health and the better, cleaner air, better water, clean water to do this thing. So the initiatives, let's go to the next slide. This is, what do you see here, by the way? What do you see there?
1 million square.
Yeah?
1 million square.
1
million square.
1 million square. Yes. You are very close. It's 1 meter square, and you can see this is AM. Yeah. And a square with a tree in between. Yeah. This is a registered trademark. It's a registered trademark by GBFA. So anyway, GBFA, you can now, anybody can buy sponsor square meters, for $3, and the rest is done. Those are examples there. Now, if you want to make money, we have created a network marketing system, an IT platform, whereby we want to use network marketing for people to restore the environment and get benefits themselves. How does it work? $5, you join GBFA. The reason we are using dollars is because of the stable, it's a stable currency. Yeah. If you say Kenya shillings, it will keep fluctuating. Yeah. So and of course we are not doing it for Kenya only. So you can't do Kenya shillings in Tanzania or Uganda. GBFA has already been registered in Zambia, Uganda, and it's because it's an Africa thing. Now, you join GBFA by paying $5, which is like 550 Kenya shillings today. You can afford that per year. Then we ask you to buy at least 10 square meters, sponsor 10 square meters. That is $30. 3,000, about 400 now, or 200. Yeah. So in total, something like 3,800. You have sponsored 10 square meters and you have joined GBFA. Now, you get 5 of your friends to do the same. Yeah? When they register, we give you back $10 to share among yourselves. And we use the $20 to restore the environment. Yeah? So that is how the system works. So you can actually decide you are going to do marketing for the environment, for your benefit and for the benefit of the environment. Now, to effectively do the Marshall Plan, the system also asks you, where would you want restored? You can say Makueni, or you can say Siaya, wherever, yeah, or Marsabit, yeah. And we are saying when we get that people who have said they want Makueni restored, we'll call them and sit down with them. We go to Makueni, they show us where they want the restoration to take place. Yeah? And we give them the support with the local communities. We send the process of restoration, how it goes. Now you sit down with the local community there, you give them whatever they need, they start the restoration, and you support them, right? So that is how the model will work. You can sponsor as many as you want. For example, I showed you their family bank. They sponsored 17,000 square meters. It's what we are using for restoration at Congios, together with other supporters, of course. Last slide, I think. Next slide. These are the initiatives. These are the citizen mobilization tools that we are using. Trees for birthdays, men of trees, women of trees. I really don't have time to go into this, but corporate also, green movement, and the youth YCC, the youth conservation. Now, we are going to use this for national tree growing events. Yeah? So we choose a date whereby if, for example, we are asking you when you celebrate your birthday with your friends, please grow trees. Yeah? Grow your age, minimum. Yeah? And if you are the 4 of you, if you are 20 and you are 5 of you, so you can grow 100 trees. Yeah? And that way you grow your 9 trees so that you get your oxygen. Yeah? And then men the same, women the same. I think let me leave it at that. I don't believe at the point. The last slide, I think. Yes. So let's do this thing. We can do it. Now this is my portion of this a piece. Actually, this is my land. Yeah. I want to walk the talk. In GBFA, say what you mean what you say. It's not about talking, it's about action. Do something. This is my land. 6 years ago, it was completely degraded. Yeah, bare ground, gullies, rocks. This is how it looks like now. This is natural regeneration. Farmer managed natural regeneration. So it's can be done, please. We are not talking. We are doing. We are saying things we have done. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Jeez, thank you so much, Professor, for teaching us today things that we had never thought about. I'm an environmentalist, so my name is Michael Kabari, and I'm an environmentalist. I have been an activist, environmental activist, specifically in the climate change for some time. I've had the opportunity to set up some initiatives back in the day in 2009, 2006, called the African Youth Initiative for Climate Change. So we liked planting trees and collecting garbage and cleaning and fighting for justice. And I used to do that back in the day. So when I was sitting back there and listening to Prof give the very simple and clear statements of fact, it energizes. I think you've seen my dad is very energized. Sometimes he's more energized than us, his sons. But it energizes the call to action. And that's a term that was coined back in the day when we were trying to push the climate change agenda. And I think that's possibly why, as Professor rightly put, we have climate change more popular than biodiversity restoration and so on and so forth. But there's something that Prof has said, many things. And if you look at my notes, the things that I want to remember, I really highlight them. Ignorance is no defense. That one we've heard it before. And we are in a room full of young people. The best time to plant a tree, this is something that really sparked me to become an environmentalist. Best time to plant a tree. Do you know, does anyone know when the best time to plant a tree? When is the best time? Let's see. Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh. Who else? Guys from, my brothers from backbenchers who are there. When is the best time to plant a tree?
Rainy season.
Rainy season. And I'm sure Professor would know this, but correct me if I'm wrong. It is 25 years ago.
Wow.
That's the best time to plant a tree. And the next best time was yesterday.
Wow.
Okay? So that's a quote that made me want to be an environmentalist, over and above the many books that I used to read that my dad had. I want to thank Modoni for the really good presentation that she had. I really hope that you listened to what she said. And I hope that tomorrow she'll get the chance, if you give her, to do it again. And even give a bigger platform to do what she's doing. There's another thing that also caught me from today. That we move from planting trees to growing trees. I've never thought about that. We are a growing country. We grow coffee, and Professor mentioned those things. So let's move from planting trees
to growing trees. And that will go to my challenge that I will challenge all my youth here to do. There's another thing just before I go to the challenge that Professor mentioned, that you need 9 mature trees to provide oxygen to a human being, to one human being, right?
1 year.
For 1 year. So that means, and I want all of us to participate here, even as my brother Matthew, my new brother Matthew comes and finishes. And I want you to do this, please, just take off your phones, or if you're writing somewhere, just write, do this simple math. And I like the fact that, Prof, you talked about Fuliza and those things, because as a youth, I think it's a pandemic, it's another pandemic, like taking loans. Because we want tomorrow's lifestyle today, actually yesterday. So I want you to do some simple math, because I was doing mine there. So if you need 9 mature trees to provide oxygen for a human being in 1 year, just write your age. Write your age at the corner. For those who don't want to people to know their age, you can write a very small number. And then calculate 9 mature trees. What number do you get? You multiply your age as of today.
9 mature.
Yes, 9 mature trees multiplied by your age. What number do you get? 432. Do you have another one who can top 432? How many years? 48. How many do you get? My brother back there? You don't have to stand. Yeah?
252.
252. And your sister? 403. 203. And your sister? 207. And your brother? Hata amejishika maduni. You are ashamed, okay? How many? 243. My brother Pali with the jacket? 225. Let's jump. The lady with the specs. Oh, the gentleman at the back? 252. Let's come to this other side. Madam?
189.
Yeah?
189.
189 next.
198.
198 next. Esther, I know this lady. I'm happy to see you here. How many?
189.
189. MC? How many trees? Okay, let's go to Bologna. Okay, let's go to Demze. Yes.
405.
405. Next.
171.
171 next.
180.
180. Let's wait for Professor here. Now from Team Kenya.
198.
198. Let's jump to the other side. The gentleman with the red hat.
216.
Huh?
216.
216. I'll jump that and then to the next one.
207.
207. Dear from Nema said 432.
252.
252. Who have I not asked? Let's come to this side.
338.
338. 100. 190. 198. Then what I'm seeing?
270.
270. So, Dad, how many did you have?
720.
720 trees. And then, Professor, how many do you have?
585.
Okay. So, Dad, you have the biggest loan to this earth. Right now, that number, hiyo ndio pesa umefuliza kutoka ulimwengu huu. Umefuliza, or you've taken a loan from the environment, and you ought to pay it back. Because as Professor said, you're literally using other people's trees or oxygen. If I got it. You're using other people's oxygen. So the number of trees that we ought to do, was it 1 million? 1 million trees? Here in this, an average of 200 times what? We are how many here? They're like how many? Say 30. Yeah. So 200 times, let's say 40.
Yes.
So that's what? 8,000 trees. From this meeting alone, we ought to plant 8,000 trees. So for the challenge again, so I'll challenge the youth. Mjue mmefuliza your trees. You're on loan. Let's just say that. So the best time to plant those trees was 25 years ago. I think we have more than 17 years. 19 years. 19. So the best time for you was 19 years ago. But past 25, it was 25 years ago. So let's plant trees. But not only plant trees, but let's grow trees. So that's the challenge that I've gotten. And I just wanted to reiterate that. For us, as tree growers, I think I'll just come out here saying I'm a tree grower. Is to ask Ochanda, give us the opportunity to grow those trees. Thank you.
Asante sana mtoto wa mkubwa wetu. Kila siku wanasema mtoto wa simba ni simba, mtoto wa nyoka ni nyoka. Na mtoto wa Professor John ni Professor John too. I imagine the kind of family they have, very passionate about a green and sustainable world. Thank you so much, sir, for your very passionate presentation. I think we cannot overstate the success of this first day of this conference, and we cannot also imagine how grand tomorrow's sessions will be. It is better imagined than experienced. I still repeat, each of us should tag along a friend or two tomorrow so that they can also get this rich and adorable knowledge that we've gotten today from our speakers. It's an invitation that we are extending to you. They always say, save the best for the last. So again, tomorrow's session can only be imagined. That's an invitation that I've made to you. We have a photo session coming, whereby we will, when I was behind at the back, when the speaker caught me off guard, I was replying to people who are engaging us online. And they are really, for the few snippets that they are able to see, they are really encouraged with what we are doing. So tomorrow, same time, same place, with even greater knowledge to harness. We're going to have a photo session for those who have attended today. We will come up front. Our digital team from Sahara will take care of that session so that history can record that we went ahead of ourselves and became part of the larger conversation of a green world. May history record that. Our people from the kitchen department are also coming in thick and fast. They are saying that we must also head there and get something little. Exchange experiences tena kidogo. We come for the photo session. We get a final remark.
Can you take the photo? photo and then.
Yes, yes.
Okay, no problem. No, but that's perfect. That's perfect. We take the photo. We have the tea, the evening tea. Then we will have a vote of thanks for today, or even just a closing prayer, and then we can go take a rest and show up tomorrow fresh and ready. So our digital team, Juma and Kayla, will guide on how we are going to take the group photo. Kindly take it away. Thank you. Asante sana.
As he does that, as team environment, and we have loved in the simplest of ways to appreciate people that are able to sacrifice their time and their resources to do such. So we want to, after doing the group photos, with the help of Professor and our dad, to symbolically, we'll make certificates for those that have participated. We have taken records of your contact, so we'll symbolically have this dummy. It was for a past event given to you by Professor. We pray that you come tomorrow so that we'll have it done to you, just in the case that we don't have the arrangement that we have today. I think that is acceptable. Kayla, tupange, a few minutes.
Good
Afternoon.
well, I'm Odongo Kevin. I represent NMS, the office of the Lieutenant General Mwameba in Embakasi South. I'm so proud of you, Prof. Before joining NMS, I was an employee at Nation Media Group, and I was so moved. I never thought that I was going to meet you here, because Tobiko himself, his brother is our boss. You know his brother is in Nation Media Group, whereby he's the chief finance guy. That's a family that I'm proud of. Introduction, I'm Odongo Kevin. I'm environmental champion. I'm a climate change action ambassador. I have an organization that I'm running that is dealing with the environment, whereby we tend to be a family. Climate change and environmental conservation, family is always a family, because whatever is doing is whatever that you are doing, and at a point we normally come together and do this environmental thing. Well, on the government perspective, there's something that I want to talk, because I have limited time. I have only 5 issues, but each and every issue I'll take maybe less than 1 minute. The transition. What is killing the environmental issues in Nairobi is the transition from linear economy to secular. I believe, Prof, you understand where I'm talking about. Dr. Ayub Masharia a few days ago talked about it, whereby we failed in our segregation. Nairobi waste management crisis is because of that transition. Let's try to be a little bit more informed on that perspective, because the more we know how we put our waste together, the more we get the solutions. So let's be the ambassadors of transitioning from linear to secular. It is not a big term. That hii ni ile story kuwa ni tuweke takataka yetu vizuri. I'm a young man, I'm a youth leader in Nakuru kwa Ruben. So in a layman language is whereby tuweke takataka zetu vizuri. Kuna zile za biodegradable, something like that. The 3 R's. The ones that can be recycled, the one that can be reused, evil. So the very moment that we get it right, our waste issue, we put a bit of solution. The other one, sustainability and local based solutions. Anything that you are doing, let's come up with a sustainability aspect. That's what is killing so many young people. Green initiatives, because we come with good ideas, but you haven't checked on the sustainability of it. So let's, anything, regardless of whatever that you're doing, let's focus on sustainability. And Prof, this one, I believe you are going to meet very big people. Tell them that we don't need these conferences at the top level. We need these conferences at the local level. We have held a lot of national conferences, but they just finish up here. But everything starts from the local level. Because the very moment we empower the local issues, we don't need to have these international talks, because the solution will really talk out way better. Third one, no man is an island, and it always affects our spheres. We need this partnership. As my brother said, getting you is a mileage. Getting the organization is a mileage. Let's try to connect with other stakeholders, and we are going to move very fast. Wahenga wako wajinga kusema kuwa if you walk alone, yes, you go, but when you walk so many people, you'll go far. The fourth one, education and awareness. It sounds not strong, but it's the strongest of everything. The very moment you tell somebody, what are you doing? I'm doing awareness and education. But that's where everything starts from. If you don't educate that young man or that kid, you're not helping him. Let's try to pump COP15. If I go back to COP15, this was a big issue at Paris. I was there. I was young, but I followed it. But COP15 is still an issue. We haven't even implemented according to what was the expectation. Economic forums. At the moment, we do have a lot of economic forums. At the moment, our politicians are going around organizing the political forum. Do we have some aspects of green aspect? Do we have aspect of greening in those economic forums? Or is it kupatia vijana kazi, tutafanya blah blah blah? But do they have that environmental aspect in those things that they are talking about? It's our time. Let's go with trend. The very moment there's green politics. Let's use that one. Let's get them. Let them have that scorecard. Because at the end of the day, one of them has to win. But that scorecard, keep them on check. Nairobi Climate Change Action Plan. That was some few days ago. It's a good thing. But what happens with government? They have good policies, but implementing it is a big deal. So don't sit there, visit their offices. Come, keep on pressing. As my senior said, keep on knocking, keep on knocking. One day, whether it's Odongo or whether it's Professor or somebody else, will open that door. This one is not the big action plan. We had some action plans way back, but some have not even been implemented. So I finished that because I'm not the chief guest, but I'm a member because this is home. So from today, my brother, officially I'm a candid member because I'm seeing a mentor. Professor, we are going to walk this walk together. We are going to do this thing together as the MC said, tomorrow come with the brother so that we work as a team. So lastly, when I wrap it off, is I'm a young man, and to surprise you, I'm a candidate. Vying for an MC position. Do I look like a politician? Yeah. Because the reason why I'm vying for a political seat is I want to take these green noises to the county assembly. And the good part, let me again surprise you, I'm running with the Green Party. I know you know Dr. Isaac Kalua. Dr. Green Isaac Kalua, he has a Green Thinking Action Party. And that is the party that I'm using to vie for an MC position. certificate yangu ilipatikana kila kitu. The EACC. Everybody says me. Yes.
I just want
Yes.
having some burning questions for him. He is from Mukuru
Kwarube.
Kwarube.
Yes.
Sijui huko, lakini I came in Nairobi 1968.
Yes.
I was employed by the council December 1968. Yeah?
Yes.
Therefore, I have seen this city grow.
Yes.
Now, my major question is, and you will find on my final or other presentation, talking about Nairobi River,
Yes.
Dadora, and our mountain, Go, where our professor is talking about. Now, when we talk about Dadora, it bites me. It boils in me, because I saw it started when they were filling the quarry holes. Yeah?
Yes.
Now it is a mountain. We have had Italian government coming here asking to work on Dandora, getting energy. No matter whether it is bioelectrochemical upgrading or methane or hydrogen, because these are renewable energies which can benefit us. What happens is corruption in that hall, city hall, or major government. Because when I talk about this, people ask me, what are you going to get out of it? I feel as if I can just broad up. Because I only want the Dora dam site rehabilitated. You will see in my presentation. Guys, tuombe Mungu.
Amen.
Na wewe upeleke mambo kwa huyo mkubwa wetu kwa Nambadi. He has done wonderful things in this city. And you, I'm asking you, tell him that we are really concerned about this. This small group here.
After this meeting, in collaboration with our senior, we can organize for a meeting with General himself, and then
we need, thank you.
So thank you so much, and God bless you.